lot of people effed around, and now they're finding out. And no group of people is going to find out more quickly than farmers, because they're really going to get screwed.
He doesn't need you anymore. He only needed you to stay out of jail and make billions of dollars from becoming president again. And all the Republican representatives and senators, they just needed you to vote for him so that they could help get that giant tax cut for the oligarchs who fund them. They have never, ever cared about you.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding him correctly. Did he say that if you're illegal, you have to get out now? But if you're working for a farmer for 25 years or in hospitality, then it turned out to be okay and now you can stay? I guess maybe now it's affecting him. Who's going to mow his yard? Who's going to build his...
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, we are seeing a large number of white farmers trying to gaslight the black community that they are going to burn down their farms. Now, this is not we expect in the humanity race, that some of the people can really become so aggressive and try as much as they can to destroy one another just because of political differences. Let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
So this is a message to the MAGA farmers who are losing their farms because of the current administration. This is a message to the MAGA veterans and military who are watching their health care be destroyed and workers be fired and billions of dollars going from quality of life measures for troops to the border. This is a message for the MAGA poor who are watching their Medicare and their Medicaid and Social Security getting ready to get chopped. This is a message for all those people who thought things were going to get better. He doesn't fucking care about you. They don't care about you. The Republican Party doesn't care about you. They needed you for your votes. Some still do. Guy, that's a part of you deep down that may be starting to realize this, and I hope you do, because your life will get better. All of these people, if you're living in red states and all of the indicators of quality of life continue to fall, wages don't rise, education continues to fail, and you're led by Republican leadership, the GOP, and it has never gotten better, only worse, while the rich inside your state get more and more corrupt and wealthy, this might be your time to do something about it. I'm just saying, maybe it was all a lie. Maybe they never cared about you and they never will. Just think about that.
With the cutting of this USAID program, they're really going to get hit hard, because what was that program, or is that program, that is not being operated as it's supposed to be because of Donald Trump giving complete control of the federal government to the billionaire who bought him, Elon Musk. Anyways, what was the purpose of that? The purpose was to provide humanitarian relief around the world. And a big part of that was providing food to desperate people around the world. And what we did through that program is purchase a lot of agricultural products produced by American farmers and then distribute those products around the world. Now that money is being withheld illegally, but it's being withheld, and farmers are not getting paid, and their products, their agricultural products, are no longer being purchased by the federal government. I saw a guy, you've probably seen this, it's gone viral, some MAGA farmer complaining about how all these contracts he had to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of agricultural products to the federal government, that's all being cut now. And he's out hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he specifically starts the video by saying he voted for Donald Trump. And he doesn't take that back, by the way. Apparently, he's still a Trump supporter. And then he goes on to explain how all of these contracts, all this money he was getting, was through the Inflation Reduction Act passed by Joe Biden. And so he's benefiting greatly from Joe Biden's policies. So what does he do? He votes for Donald Trump. Donald Trump promptly kills all of that, He's out hundreds of thousands of dollars, yet he can't bring himself to say that he made a mistake in voting for Donald Trump. The man is losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he still can't admit that he made a mistake. These friggin' MAGAs, I'm sorry, I'm going to enjoy people like this guy losing everything. There's consequences for stupidity, and they're going to learn that.
In the 2016, 2020, and 2024 elections, farmers across the United States overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. Now, in 2016, that was not a good decision. In 2020, that was kind of dumb. In 2024, that was very stupid. Because at least in 2016, right, like, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we did know that he promised mass deportations and to build a wall, which of course would directly hurt farmers. In 2020, Trump had already had a trade war going for 2 years that cost farmers so much that it sent a record number of farmers into bankruptcy and caused the administration to have to send out billions of dollars in personal checks just to keep farms afloat. So in 2024, when Donald Trump was promising both mass deportations and more tariffs, you would think that farmers would have caught on by now, right? Like, hey, we got screwed the first time. We got screwed with the tariffs. We got screwed with the immigration thing. Maybe let's not vote for the guy who's promising to do all of that on steroids. But they did. And all of us across the country, of course, are paying the price for that. And these farmers are pissed off. Rightfully so. Like, you have every right to be pissed off if you didn't vote for Trump. But these farmers that recently spoke to the media did, in fact, vote for Donald Trump. And now they're trying to say that we didn't know this was going to happen. Let me read you a couple of these quotes. "We're just in such a state of shock. We just don't really even know how to respond to all this," talking about the on-again, off-again trade war. "We thought this was sacred and really untouchable," also referring to, by the way, cuts to the U.S. Department of Agriculture that stopped payments to farmers under a program that was started under Biden. So it's just quite a shock and very devastating. Everyone thinks all farmers voted for this, but we did not vote for it.
There are a lot of people who are very concerned out there who voted for this administration. But you know, they wrote it all down in Project 2025. I guess we should have paid a little closer attention to what was in that. I read the agriculture section. I know it better than I probably should. But it was there. It was all in writing. We probably should have paid closer attention to it. I'll just say this. I think it's time for this administration to recognize who put them into office, and also to understand that these people are hurting, and this only adds to the hurt that they're already dealing with.
Also, everybody says in the comments, Project 2025, didn't you read that? That's his platform. From my understanding, that wasn't his platform. That's not what he's running on. And I never thought I'd be on the political side of TikTok, because it's definitely not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in the farm side of TikTok.
Ska.net to get your Leopards Ate My Face merch. Ahora en español.
So I just saw this video of this white man who's not MAGA, by the way, or at least he says he's not, but because he damn sure selling the look. But he says he has a fake account over on Twitter, and he joined this group of white farmers, and he's pretending to be MAGA just to see what they're talking about. So apparently they had this group chat or group call where the white MAGA farmers were upset and saying the only reason why they voted for shitty britches was because they thought the blacks didn't have jobs and the blacks would come back and work their fields. They thought they were going to get slavery back by voting for shitty britches. But they have been saying loud and proud with their chest that immigrants were taking their jobs. Yet, there are a couple of farms here in Texas that overnight lost 100% of their workforce. But immigrants was taking their jobs, right? Racism is expensive, huh?
Everyone, I have some late breaking news. China now gets all its soybeans from Brazil because of Donald Trump's tariffs. So, you gotta think, how much money did the United States lose over this? How much taxable income did the United States lose? So now Brazil is China's #1 importer for these soybeans. They're getting it all from Brazil. So how do you think this is hurting the American people? Because of Donald Trump's tariffs, China does not rely on the United States for this product. So basically, the farmers are losing, and the workers and everyone else involved in the soybean industry, which is also people who deliver it, transport it. So it's a big chain, and they're all losing. So Mr. Trump, I bet Brazil is absolutely...
Well, the last administration is no longer in power, is it? We're a month into Donald Trump's second term. He's dismantling the executive branch, one agency at a time. And he started with U.S. aid, which has billions of dollars of signed contracts with American farmers. And now he and Elon Musk have canceled that funding. They have canceled those contracts, and American farmers, the vast majority of whom voted for Donald Trump and went out and spent money in reliance on those contracts and in reliance on receiving that funding that the United States government guaranteed them they would receive, are now under threat of potentially losing their farms altogether because of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. The richest man on the planet is going to cost American farmers their farms with no oversight, with no transparency into what he's doing, with his merry little band of incel hackers who are going into these departments and agencies and just determining what money they're not going to disperse. And billions of dollars of that money was going to be dispersed to American farmers during this presidency. Who cares about the prior administration? During Donald Trump's first term, his tariffs on agriculture for China ended up in a similar circumstance, and Donald Trump had to bail out American farmers to the tune of $26 billion, more money than the entire annual budget for the United States State Department. That seems to have worked out well. And now the damage is being done explicitly just from the inside, because the richest man in the world didn't like something that he saw in some computer code that he never should have had access to in the first place. And so American farmers, again, the vast majority of whom voted for Donald Trump, a whole bunch of them are now going to lose their farms because Donald Trump and Elon Musk decided not to honor contracts that were signed during the last administration to provide American farmers with billions and billions and billions of dollars. That's what Joe Biden did. Donald Trump came in and canceled those contracts, and now American farmers are going to lose their farms. But please bitch and moan more about Joe Biden. And have a great Thursday.
Caleb Ragland is the president of the American Soybean Association. And he just wrote an op-ed for a right-wing publication. And he said in there, quote, "Like many of my fellow farmers, I voted for President Donald Trump in the past 3 elections. The president won me over with his commitment to business-friendly tax cuts, as well as his track record of reducing regulation and cutting government spending. I am one of 500,000 soybean farmers in America who feels the pain. As a businessman, President Trump must know how urgent this is." Does he? Is he? Anyway, he goes on to say the current trade war with China is a gamble with American livelihoods, especially for farmers, those of us who grew up with soil and sweat, who can't imagine doing anything else. Mr. President, I hope you hear our plea. Please make a deal with China now. Yeah, so he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. There is no deal to be had. As of now, the majority of Trump's base is sticking with him on these tariffs. But it's gonna catch up with them. They're gonna realize sooner or later there are no deals. He is not the deal maker. He screwed up. And no, China is not begging and pleading and knocking.
So for those of y'all who've been keeping up with recent events as it relates to the farmers, right? We talked about Nebraska, and then we talked about Iowa, and all of these farmers, you know, are losing their minds because they're losing their farms, and you know, they're scared. Well, let me tell y'all what I heard today. So the lobbyist groups for the farmers are proposing another bailout of $16 billion. The last time Syphilitic Sid did this in his first administration, they received a whopping $24 billion in bailouts. Well, this time around, Syphilitic Sid said he doesn't know if he can do that. He's not sure that that's something that they can accommodate. Look, I love the farmers. The farmers are wonderful. They farm, right? They farm. But, you know, we're trying to cut fraud and waste and a lot of unnecessary spending. So now these people and their lobbyists are trying to get bailouts. But what I want to understand is, what happened to you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps? What happened to we voted for him because he's a great businessman? What happened to we're going to put our trust in him because he's going to help us? Help y'all do what exactly? Lose your farms? Yes, that part. Because you know who invests in these companies that buy up bankrupted farms? Your vice president. So, to all you farmers that voted for this, thinking it was going to be like the last time and he was going to give y'all a bailout and y'all would get those subsidies to support yourselves and your farms and your families, it's not coming. Not this time around. It's not coming. You can just forget it. So, I wish you well. I hope it works out for you. Maybe, you know, somebody can whisper in his ear and change his mind. You know, you might want to reach out to Ivanka because she's his favorite and he listens to her, I guess. But they're not really speaking, you know, ever since like the insurrection. But I don't know. This is just word on the street. You know, it's just gossip, but you didn't hear it from me.
Ready for the ultimate fuck around and find out? Here it comes. Watch this, and then we'll discuss.
I need your help to save my farm and many other farms. Wanted to give you guys
Okay, this Jethro is experiencing the ultimate MAGA FAFO moment. I don't know if you've seen his videos, but he's posted a couple of videos where he's basically come on here and he said, I voted for Trump because, well, in a nutshell, because he loves Trump's hate agenda. He doesn't like the fact that immigrants are coming here and taking money from the government. Taking money from the government is evil. You should pull up your own bootstraps and work. So in the next sentence, he comes out and he says, I voted for Trump and Trump took away my government subsidy that helped my farm stay in business. So send me money. Trump took away the government subsidy that Biden put in place that kept me in business. Now that Trump took it away, I need your help. Send me money. So my question to you is, do we send this Jethro money? I mean, he is now getting the bill for his hate agenda. His hate agenda comes with a price. He didn't know it. Maybe he didn't realize it. Maybe he thought it would never bounce back on him. But now that it's affecting him personally, he's asking for us to give him money. Now, my answer to this, I don't know what your answer is going to be, whether you want to give him money or not. But my answer is, from me, you get fucko. Because if I were to give you money, Jethro, that would make me woke. And you hate woke. You hate the woke left because they show kindness, compassion, and consideration for other people. And that's just too woke for you. So I'm going to live by your standard. And I'm not going to be woke, which means I'm not going to give you one red fucking cent, because that's what I feel you fucking deserve. What about the rest of you? What say you? Do you give them money?
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, we've been seeing a lot of MAGA supporters crying out to the black community to get help. Now, they are calling out the black community for not helping them cope up with the situation that is at hand at the moment. Now, many of them are complaining about things that have been happening to them, including deportation of their own workers or staff. Now, including losing their family members to the ICE agents who are actively deporting people in the United States of America. This is whatever they voted, and these are the things that most people are voting against, but some of the people couldn't hear at the moment. Now, I really loved some of the Trump's policies, if at all they were to be put in place, but some of them were really going to affect the people. And I think sometimes we should stop emotional voting and start voting with a lot of intelligence. Now see whatever is happening in the United States of America, where many farmers are crying out. I see a lot of raged farmers who are coming out after the black people, trying to intimidate them in one way or the other. And I've often said time to time that this won't work. We really need to unite, and we really need to see how we're gonna do things as people of the human race. Trying to tell that you're going to burn down the farms of the black community is not working out. That won't bring whatever you lost to you, you know. When someone says no, that they're not going to help you work in your fields, it doesn't mean that you have to intimidate them in one way or the other. Sometimes you should take the defeat and learn from that. I really do not associate myself with the violence that is being spread by some of the Texas, Nebraska farmers who are trying to call out the black community, the Latinos, and all those who are saying no to intimidation, that they are going to bring their farms down or burn their farms down. If we really need to know how things work, is when people got wrong choices. Now, who are you going to blame for the wrong choices that you made? Now, you elected a president who is not working for you, or a president who is just trying to do whatever he promised you to do, that he was going to do. You voted these policies. Now, whatever remains of you is to keep quiet, endure all that comes with his second term, wait for the next election, and vote wisely. I'm not a good advocate of aggressiveness, because if we were to live in such a manner, we won't have a world, we won't have humanity. People will unalive each other, and that's not the best case scenario we want to see. We want to see a more united Africa, we want to see a more united America, we want to see a more united human race. This is not whatever most people are rooting for. We are rooting for peace. We are not rooting for war. We continue saying that this is the time we should remind those who voted wrongly that it is time they should do the best thing. They should not sit down. We should not let people destroy humanity just because they did or make a bad mistake. Mistakes are made, but sometimes we should correct the way we take mistakes. Sometimes we do take mistakes as a matter of death and life and death. That's not the best case. or the best scenario we want to see. We want to see a more united humanity. We want to see people who are reasoning together, people who are actually upholding mannerism, people who are actually trying to make the world look better. I'm not against the people who voted for Make America Great Again, but I'm having a problem when people vote for a president, they turn around or against the president, then they try to gaslight the rest of the people who did vote for the same president. Now, if someone didn't vote for the president, but they are keeping quiet, is there a problem with that? Now, someone doesn't vote, a problem. When someone keeps quiet, a problem. When they are talking, you call them talkative. This is not whatever we want to see. We want to see a more united people. We want to see a more united Latinos, Black community. We do not want to see a community where people are actually rubbing shoulders, you know. I'm very, very happy that the Black community has remained resilient for all these years. That some of the Latinos and some of the white farmers are actually good. There is a problem with a minor, you know. There is a problem with a small number of them who think that they can manipulate everyone, that they think that everyone must work for them, that if you do not work for them, then it becomes a problem. For how long are we going to take this? For how long are the people going to sit down and wait patiently for you to act right? We are not going to see the same things in silence, you know. Some people, now, every human being has something that is called elastic. Everyone has the resilience that he can take, you know. Now, the elastic part of you, for how long are you going to take the pain? For how long are you going to take whatever is happening to you, you know? And I feel that some of the people in the United States of America and across the world are being pushed to the wall and being forced to react, you know, that they are coming to their elastic moment, you know, that if you push me too much, I'll have to react, you know, that if you behave in a certain way, I'll have to retaliate. And that's whatever is happening. We are seeing a lot of Black Americans making video condemning whatever is happening, that you cannot just come into our farms and try as much as you can to burn our farms down. We must also remember that it is not only the Black community that voted for Kamala Harris, that there is many people who went ahead and saw the Kamala Harris project being the best. Now, you can't just blame a single people. That shows something else, you know. When you come to me and blame me for whatever is happening in Africa and leave the rest of the people, because we have Indians in Africa, we have Europeans in Africa, we have every type of person, Chinese in Africa, then when you blame Africans for everything that is happening to Africa, or you go to you come to Africa, then blame Chinese for the bad states of the road in Africa, or for those roads that are poorly constructed in Africa, I think you'll be unfair, because you must want to look at so many other factors, like why are these roads poor? Is it the money that didn't fit the budget to make these roads, or someone did take something, because that's the culture in most of these countries? So that's just an example that everyone has an elastic limit. For how long are you going to take this? For how long are you going to persevere, endure all that is happening to you? Now, I'm very grateful that the Black community is still silent. They're not acting aggressive. They're not doing anything funny. And this is how we should humiliate them. I think that's very best. Thank you so much for having taken this time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. If it's your first channel on this channel, if it's your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking this video. Thank you so much. Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. We've seen a lot of